When I was 19 years old, I took the decision to go to university. Not just to go to university, but to leave my home country of Luxembourg and to move to a city more than 400 kilometers away. I left behind all my friends, my girlfriend, I left behind everything for something that I believed would help me out massively in my future career. What actually happened is that my life broke down. I lost control of everything. I used to be very much into gym. I used to be very fit. All of that fell apart. I felt my life spiral down a path that I didn't want to. I didn't enjoy myself. I was sad, probably borderline depressed. And I realized that I'm not where I wanted to be. In all of this, there was one thing that, against all odds, gave me stability, even though it's probably the most chaotic thing there is. Trading. I found trading for myself, and trading helped me regain control over every aspect of my life. In this little series, I want to take you on a journey from my path on how I was a depressed, sad, loner student at university, without friends, with no social life, with no skills and no money, to being a full-time trader, to living an amazing life, to traveling around and making money when I want to. This is Student to Full-Time Trader. So stay tuned.
Mimowei, we're escaping the matrix.
GM, and welcome to the first episode of Student to Trader, where every episode I will give you a part of my story, tell you a little story about my life, and hopefully turn it into a lesson that you can apply to your own life. This doesn't necessarily have to be trading only, but some of it will be actually applicable for your general life. Today, I want to talk about the only thing that not even Solana's efficiency can speed up. Time. First of all, everyone has 24 hours, right? So why is it that some people are massively successful and you're still broke? Well, let's dive into that. I had classes, I had a job, I had coursework, but I also realized that I had something else. I had hours, I had time, and so do you. The real difference isn't time. The difference is how you waste it. Most of you don't use your time optimally at all. I'm sorry, if you're saying that you're too busy to learn trading, but you know every cast member of Love Island, you're not busy, you're just distracted. And that's fine. Every aspect of the world was made to distract you. Look at Instagram, look at TikTok. It's meant to ruin your attention span, but that's still fixable. First of all, let me tell you how I personally managed my time, because I wasn't good at this at all. You know, I came fresh from high school where you're basically at school for 8 hours, then you learn a bit, and then you do whatever you want. My time was managed for me by the system. Here at uni it was a whole different thing. There was mandatory presence, but only for 80%, and realistically nobody gave a f. So I could decide what I do with my time, and that was overwhelming at the beginning. I took all the wrong decisions. But at one point it made click and I realized that this trading thing is what can help me gain back my discipline. So what did I do? For trading specifically, when I was sitting in lectures where professors were just reading their own slides, where I'm like, I can read, why do I have to sit here? Like, I could have read this at home. I decided, well, I'll use my time here more optimally. And I backtested. I backtested in class all the time. If we had a 3-hour lesson, well, cool, that was a 3-hour backtesting session. Now, always when I was in transit, when I was, going from place A to place B, I had either motivational podcasts on, or I had some super villain music, or like this real luxury rap, and I was imagining myself already in Dubai in my Tiffany blue McLaren 720S. That created vision and purpose, something that we'll talk about in another video. But basically, you need to motivate yourself all the time as well. Motivation is part of discipline. Discipline will bring you to places that motivation can't, yes. But, sometimes you just need that little burst of motivation. So take it whenever you can. My evenings or my afternoons, depending on when I had uni, were all about chart study, journaling, and learning my actual strategies. By no means did I have all of this figured out at the beginning. I was one of these people that went stupidly partying as well. I cannot sit here and say, oh yeah, never do that, because I did it too. But at one point I realized that this was not gonna bring me places. And I was like, okay, fuck that. Let them go to parties. That's why they will get a degree and sit somewhere for 50 years and listen to some boss tell them what they want to do. I didn't want that. So I used this time that they used to enjoy themselves to build a life for me. Then obviously I had a part-time job. I worked at a theater here in Munich to, gain some extra capital, so that, because in trading you need capital, that's just how it goes. Late nights also were not like, oh, I went to sleep early, by no means. I was someone, I would work deep into the night, actually. Like sometimes I would be awake at 3 a.m. and I'd still be studying my charts, still be studying my theories, still be backtesting. So this is how I personally used my time. Is this massively optimal? By no means. I think the only reason that I'm not burned out is that I was running on my fuel was just, I need to make it, I want to make it, and my absolute hatred for the system that I was in. So I would not suggest that you sacrifice sleep, sacrifice your entire social life for this, but you need to realize that a big part of your fun time will need to be cut so that you work more efficiently. Well, and this brings me to another point. Cutting useless things out. I was a big video game guy. No, I wasn't a video game guy, I was a League of Legends guy. I just played League of Legends a lot. And as hard as it was, and this is a very long process, I had to cut games out. I didn't do it cold turkey because I could never have done that. But slowly but surely I reduced the amount of hours I wasted on that video game. I'm still wasting some time on it now, so it's still a process, but you have to cut that out, unfortunately. Also, pointless socializing. There's socializing that brings you further. That's called networking. But if you are around with people that all they do is talk about celebrities and, oh, this Netflix show, celebrity this, oh, did you see Taylor Swift, she dropped it? Don't really care. Doesn't bring me further in life, does it? I socialized with some of my boys that I did business with. Sanjay V, for example, our marketing guy. So we would walk around and would just talk business all the time. When we were around, we were productive. Maybe I wasn't trading at that time exactly. Maybe I wasn't backtesting. But my talk with that guy was more productive than I could have used that time in any other way. Also something that you should cut out is watching Ethereum charts and pretending like it's gonna do something ever again. Fuck Ethereum. You just know we have to add that in every video for the gimmick. But actually, fuck Ethereum. Now let me introduce you to the Mimowei time system. And please, steal it. Take it. It's yours for the taking. First of all, I want you to sit down now and look at your time schedule. What are you doing? Because most people, you can ask them, what did you do today? And they're like, oh, nothing. Did you actually do nothing? Because then we have a bigger problem. No, think about it. If it's night where you are, or if you're watching this at the evening, then think about what you did today. If it's earlier, think about what did you do yesterday? And then you look at what did you do last week? What was your last week? And now you identify white space in your schedule. Find that time. Find time where you actually did nothing, that you didn't use. And then you inject purpose into that. So you assign it a task, right? Even with varying schedules from university, your weeks are still all gonna look pretty much the same, right? So if you assign every waking hour a task, and if that is relaxing and taking care of your mental health, not to burn out, then that's a purpose. But now at least you know how much time you waste, but where it's good that you waste it to stay stable in your head. Eliminate the softness. Time is not just about optimizing your schedule also. It's about aggression. Everything you do, you have to tackle with full-on aggression. If I need to study for a finance exam tomorrow, I'm sitting down 3 hours and I'm tackling that bitch with aggression. I'm gonna know everything by the end of the 3 hours. That's just how it is. That's how it is. If I say it's gonna be done, it's gonna be done. And that's how you have to tackle everything. Everything you do. If you go to the gym for an hour, it's also something I see a lot. There's people in the gym for 1 hour and then, half an hour they're on their phone. I went to the gym for an hour, and I do this every day, but nothing happens. Yeah, because you're not tackling it with enough aggression. Be more aggressive when doing things, when completing tasks. Also, be more efficient. Efficiency comes from this aggression. Because if I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do 100 backtests with this strategy on Bitcoin. Well, I know I want to get it done and I don't want to sit there for 20 hours doing that. I know that the result is going to help me and make me more profitable if I know the result. So I'll sit there, boom, aggression. Okay, I'll burn out these 100 backtests quickly, done correctly, but as quickly as possible. I'm not going to sit there after 20 backtests and be like, oh, okay, now I'll go scrolling on Instagram for half an hour. No, I'll sit there, 100 backtests, done. Okay? That's how you do shit. That's also how you learn. Because people, as mentioned, I hear people studying for 10 hours for a test. And I'm like, I studied for 1 hour and I outperformed you. I outscored you. How is that possible? Because you didn't use the 10 hours optimally. So start using every second like it counts. Because it does. Most of you watching this are still probably very young. I wouldn't call myself old, but you know, you have time. That's true. But time is also running. Every second counts. Make your life worth living, bro. So as a takeaway from this episode, it is important that you realize that time is your first asset. It is the most important token that you're holding in your wallet, is time. Because every second, you're losing one token. Your time on this earth is finite, so use every second of it like it's your last. Every hour can build your optimal life, or every hour can be an excuse. I chose the first at one point, and by all means, for the longest time of my life, I chose the second. But if you want to achieve something in life, then you should always go for the first one. Make your life worth living. This was the first episode of Student to Trader. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learned something. Always remember, get rich or get liquidated. There's no third option. And as always, never stop GMing. GM.
Shorty in the bed, yeah, big tis too. Crypto king, I don't miss money too long. Got the world on my wrist. Solana up, Bitcoin lit.